Matthew Miller.
F this guy.
People may remember this guy as the vampiric, State Department smirking guy from the Biden administration who spent the last, year and a half of his job there denying genocide repeatedly, smugly, over and over again to reporters asking legitimate questions.
To be clear, there is the stuff that Israel has been doing in Gaza for the past year and a half, fundamentally, not any different than what they're doing now. I mean, it is the case that they're not killing food aid workers because they're in charge of it now and they've hired, but
U.S. mercenaries.
Fundamentally, same exact dynamic. But there's an opportunity here now for a lot of people to do some CYA and some retconning of their reputation. The moment this guy should have salvaged his reputation was well over a year and a half ago when he should have resigned from the administration in protest.
Like other people in the State Department did, many of his colleagues. He didn't follow suit because he had a job where he was in prominence. He was State Department spokesperson. And it's important, you can weigh genocide on one end and furthering your career on the other. And this is an extension of that latter thing.
And understand the relationship between
get hired again.
Those who were denying what was going on in Israel and those who have used protest about what's going on in Israel as a weapon that ended up allowing for the images we just saw of immigration, deputies essentially going around in full riot gear. Like the relationship between the arrests and the doxing and the harassing and the disappearing of students who protested against the genocide that's taking place in Israel is just a flavor and an extension. It is on the same continuum as what we're seeing with them arresting, moms and kids under these with these immigration under the auspices of detaining immigrants. But here he is. Go back a little bit. I want to hear the question.
Do you think what's going on in Gaza now is a genocide?
I don't think it's a genocide, but I think I think it is without a doubt true that Israel has committed war crimes.
You wouldn't have said that at the podium.
Yeah, look, because when you're at the podium, you're not expressing your personal opinion. You're expressing the conclusions of the United States government. The United States government had not concluded that they've committed war crimes. Still have not concluded that.
But your personal view is they have.
And they
were while you were there.
But let me qualify that. There are two ways to think about the commission of war crimes. One is if the state has pursued a policy to deliberately committing war crimes or is acting reckless in a way that aids and abets war crimes. And that, I think, is an open question. I think what is almost certainly not an open question is that there have been individual incidents that have been war crimes where members of the Israeli military have committed war crimes. So ultimately, in almost every major conflict, including conflicts prosecuted by democracies, you will see individual members of the militaries commit war crimes, and the way you judge a democracy is whether they hold those people accountable.
But Israel hasn't.
That's my point. Right. Is we have not yet seen them hold sufficient numbers of the military.
Okay. So they haven't held any of their military accountable, but that's not indicative to Miller 2 years into this that this is a government policy. I mean, the complete lack of holding these people to account should be essentially all you need to know about whether it's government policy, just even assuming like you didn't know anything else about what's going on there. But I'm sorry, I get that it's your job, but you're a scumbag. It's one thing. It's like, you know what? I know we didn't do the best job in rolling out this legislation, or I'm going to talk about the positives of the Affordable Care Act website, even though I know it's sort of a cluster F, because it's my job. But is there really nothing? I mean, that's the next question I want to hear. What would it take for you to resign and protest? What could you be forced to lie about that it would cause you to resign and protest? That's the real question. Every single one of those people at the State Department who quit, every one of the people who quit within the context of the U.S. government as a protest, not nearly as much, enough, but they all quit because of the level of horror that was going on. It wasn't just like I'm having to associate myself with the government as doing some stuff that I don't like. And nobody in the administration, at least the public facing part, had to do more to sell a lie than this guy.
And he was in the State Department where we talked to Anel Sheline about this, there were dissent cables. There were people blowing the whistle internally, some of them who resigned, some of them who didn't. And so he knew. Of course he knew. But now he can concede war crimes, what? Because he's out of the administration 5-6 months? Because now it's less of an it's less, he feels less implicated on it. And now now that's the line. War crimes, not genocide. Because the genocide, it was clear what Israel was going to do on October 8th. And we've seen them execute that slaughter to the heights that they're unabated. I thought at one point they would have to be stopped, but turns out no. And a good part of that is his complicity in that, in selling to the American public why Hind Rajab. Wasn't he the one who was saying to reporters about like the Hind Rajab's cries before she was assassinated by Israel? Like that, oh, we're looking into it, or the Israelis should conduct their own investigation. We're looking into it. He, I think for months, denied, continuously said that they were continuing to do a report or investigation into it, lying about the death of this young little girl over and over again. And the next question, we don't even need to play it, but is this Sky News reporter asking him, like, how did this affect your family, having all these protesters outside your house? I don't know. At least they're not slaughtered and his whole family isn't completely obliterated like we've seen.
Yeah, the city didn't collapse on him and his family. It's important for students. This whole Matt Miller thing should be taught to any student of American government, which is about our government's relationship to the truth, and that is one that's provisional and opportunistic. And if we need to lie for Israel, his duties made him aid and abet war crimes by his own admission. And the way he says, well, I don't know if, even the thing he says about war crimes, well, could have just been some bad eggs. We don't have anything. It's like what Holocaust deniers say is, where's Hitler's signature on the Holocaust policy? Because without that, then I don't know that the high command really wanted it. We know that Bibi Netanyahu and Ben Gvir and none of these people give a shit about what's happening to the Palestinians, please.
Oh, no, they want it. And they're ordering it. And he was just, Matt Miller was just following orders. So there's nothing you can do to criticize him. He was just doing his job, which is lying to the public. Also, why did these spokespeople keep getting hired by major media corporations? I mean, we should talk about that a little bit. Because it shows that they're auditioning and with an understanding that they are lying, and the people that are hiring them know that. I don't know if I've heard a spokesperson say before or get so close to saying that they knew that they were being untruthful when being asked by reporters over and over again about one particular topic.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an advertisement like, hire me, don't worry.
Right.
I'm not going to let anything get in the way.
Company man here.
Exactly. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.